actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why, everybody? Please carry on, Nick.
Yeah, I never locked in my stop loss. Not stop loss. I mean, I never locked in like my account to keep it safe. And then it reached 0.5%. I let it bypass that, and it reached 1%. And I was about to lock in 0.5%, but I thought, no, I'll let it go a bit more. And then what's it do? It turned around again. It turned around on me, and then I moved my stop loss further back, which you should never do, because I was thinking it might give it more room to breathe, and it might end up stopping and going the way I want it to soon, but it didn't. It kept following my stop loss, following it, and it took me out at 2%.
It was like tracking you like a sniper. We're going for Nick. I'm sure they follow us, mate. I'm sure they follow us.
My mistake was not protecting my account when I had the opportunity.
Well done.
Not protecting 0.5% when I reached that, and then not taking 1% when it reached that point as well, because I was a little bit greedy and hesitant, and I was waiting for it to go further, but it turned around, bit me in the butt, and I ended up losing. Although I made a recovery later on, I recovered the 2%, and also I won an extra 0.5% after on a quick third trade. But
so you ended the day positive.
Yeah, I'll come out on top at the end of the day. I'll come out on top in profit at the end of the day, not without a bit of blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak.
Yeah, a bit of praying, perhaps. A bit of praying. So can I ask you something? So if you were coaching me, Nick, and what would you say to me about and I just gave you that information? What would you say to me? I noticed it went 0.5%. I noticed it went 1%. It then went against me. I moved my stop loss. Then I perhaps moved it again. What advice would you give to me if you were my coach? Let's just be honest a bit here.
At least lock in 0.5% at the earliest opportunity, and then let the rest run for itself. Let the money do the running.
Let the money do the running.
Yeah.
So
if you can reach 0.5%, but at least lock in like just over your entry, like to protect your account. Yeah.
Account protection, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, just so you know, as we are speaking here, I've got the TikTok guru recording me. That's him. That's him over there. So I'm just for complete transparency. So Jaden, I know you like the. I call you the transparency guy because, and that's why I just share. This is the facts. This is what happened. He got it back. He ended up in profit 0.5%. And this chap here, Mr. Paul Everett, he's actually quite a famous guy. Actually, he's an international globe. Travels the globe, and currently, I believe, is in the Greek islands.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he was my original mentor, Forex.
Yeah.
Don't give all the secrets away, Jeff.
And it took me 3 months to place my first trade. I just wasn't getting it. And I was like pulling my hair out. And I was like, how do I place a trade in MT4? I had so much knowledge. And this is the truth. I had my phone and I was behind my computer and I had my MT4. So what do I press on it to place? I just couldn't work it out.
Yeah.
Truth, Paul?
Yeah, very true.
We shared my screen and I was all over the place. I was over my head. I was well over my head. So, whew,
and now look at you.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So, hi, Demo. Hello, mate. I just want to quickly show.
Hello, mate.
I hope you're doing well. Let me just quickly. Today is today Wednesday. Let me just check. So Wednesday. Okay. Today we're supposed to be every Sunday the market change direction on 2 time frames. Yeah, but let's have a quick look at AUD USD so I can show you my setup. This was in a previous session. I teach at this time here, 8 a.m. East Standard, and there was a trade where I entered there and I showed them this thing called a risk. Have you heard me talk about stabilizers, stabilizer blocks? The spread. We entered here, and that was it. That was it there. So it achieved it. Yeah, there was all this notchiness going on here afterwards, but then it just carried on rallying. It carried on rallying, and we were at right now. inbuilt into the software tells you when it's expecting to return. Sorry, expected to reach for liquidity. That's what this tells you. Either so at this point here, it's expected either to go here or, well, that was the low, but before that we have here. And that's between 10 a.m. Eastern Standard and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. So I've set, this is my solve, but I trade on something called time and price. Certain times of the day I trade, and I know my trade setups. And I know what I'm looking for. So that is here. Any questions on that up until now? Ah, Mr. Todd himself. Hello there. Welcome. Hello, Todd. Can you hear me okay? This gentleman I've been speaking to for months, a businessman in real estate, and we have Mr. Trader Invest, Sudhakar. Welcome, welcome. So we have a little question here. Yes, sir. Thank you. So, any questions on my chart right now? I'm going to make it a complete naked chart. I've shown you what I've done here earlier on today. I've marked that up, just a simple trend line, and I've marked that price out there into the future. Thank you. Welcome, Todd. Yep. And I've told you what I'm expecting at this time of the day. There's a high there, so I'm just drawing that there. So I'm looking for liquidity. Yeah. These are only candles. There's no indicators. Yes, I have indicators. I could do a whole bunch of indicator stuff, but I've just shown you this. So I'm now got this on the 1 minute. We're now going to go to the 5 minute and do the exact same thing. Okay. Got the 30-minute trader on that. So let me just check. AUD USD, AUD 1 minute, AUD USD 5 minute. And I'm going to set this up. 10. Oh. And what this indicator does, it actually tells you when expecting volume bursts in the market. Can I ask you a question? I'll just actually go down to the 1 minute. Let me just ask you the question. We're looking at these yellow indicators. Let's go back to the midnight, so we get a full we do it based on midnight. So you tell me if this indicator is any good. There's a volume burst in the market. Do we see a change of direction? Do we see a volume burst? Yes, we do. Bang, there it goes. It drops like a stone. Yeah. Let me put on my 30-minute trader direction. This is just about helping people stay in the trade rather than getting fearful. So that's that there. So it goes from, we came from this red area here, but at this time, you see how it just drops nicely. And you can stay in the trade, you can exit there if you wish, or you can, you don't notice it goes back up to there, it's a little road bump, hits off the top of that red, and carries on. And it's up to you when you, can you see any value in that so far? These are automatic. The next one I want to come to, this one is counter trend trading, but it's bounced off a green box. It's bounced off, this was the upgrade. Bounced off a green box, we got an indicator, said, Jeff, I would buy. Where our target was this here. Our target, we look left, is here. Or we have these stabilizers up here. Achieve that. Now, Stefan, FVG. Stefan, are you there?
Yes, yeah.
Look, we've got an FVG. I'm actually confused now. FVG right in there. I'll remove that second one. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to mute Todd for a minute. If you want to speak, Todd, you can, but I'm just muted you because there was a bit of background noise, just so you know. But speak if you wish. This was a counter trend trade, a fair value gap in there, stabilizer there, another winning trade again, using only these. I say to people, don't trade just off these, but on these alone, you can see the damage. The next one, that's 3 a.m. Eastern Standard, which is, we had 5, that's 8 a.m. UK time. Those people who trade, look at this here. It simply goes to the moon. And you simply put on your 30-minute trader direction, bang, and as long as it stays above that there, we can stay in the trade. There's your exit, but guess what? I hit this red based on this wick, and it started coming down. This started painting. It did go back up. I found uncertainty, closed the trade there, and another healthy win. And that all started based off of a time of day trade, time and price with a volume burst in the market.
Sorry, mate. Well, it ain't going too well for me again. I'm almost 2% down again already.
So what does that tell you?
I don't know, mate.
Patience.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just abandon this one.
Just hang on, Yep. Where are we here? Let's go to the next one.
I've just closed my position now. Like, okay. If I leave it, it's just going to take me out even more. This is stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, but we'll have a look at that. Next one here, it gets it right again. Next one here, it gets it right again. And it absolutely crushes the market. It rips it to shreds. So let me just check. To 30-minute trader to help you stay in the trade. Yeah, that was at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, it simply goes to the moon and it just keeps going. Exit there as it breaks through there. And yeah, it keeps going again. But that is now. So this is the here and the now. That's okay, Todd. Speak if you want, Todd. There'll be just a little bit of noise. So what this has happened here, it's a big push away day. And I believe Nick may have got in for a sell. Is that correct? I don't know.
Yeah, because it was starting to turn and it was looking like that way, what I said earlier when I marked up everything. It should have done that, but it's, I don't know, it's just still carrying on up, isn't it? So I've bailed out about, I don't know, about 1.5%.
Yeah.
Down.
Okay.
So I've got to try and make that back now.
That's right. So what's the one thing we could offer to Nick? What could we do to help Nick? Oh,
I'd say you place your trade and you just don't look.
Yesterday at the exact same time, he lost 2%.
Yeah.
Bit more patience, and let it open at 10 a.m. Let the markets do what they need to do for half hour.
Yeah. That's it in the 1 in the minute. Let's sit on the 5 minute there, just to show you. Anybody else offer Nick any advice, please? Because Nick, up to recently, was a fully funded $50,000 fully funded trader. So
yeah, it's not worth anything. That's not worth anything now, is it?
No, I'm just letting you know you do have a little bit of patience. That's what I would potentially suggest, because at the exact same time you get knocked down. Was that a 1 minute trade or a 5 minute or something else before we go into today's session properly?
It's on 1 minute chart, mate. 1
minute chart. Thank you very much. Don't need that. I don't know why I put that on there. So we've got this here. We've got a green stabilizer. We've got a green one. It's coming up to a red. It's coming up to red. If you place the sell there, you got a green stabilizer there. Does it hit it? Yes, it does. It hits that green stabilizer, then goes. Just again, I'll just show you that there. Yeah, that one there. And I assume you can only thought it was getting. Were you going to get in for a sell there? I'm just trying to help Nick. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you was talking to me, mate. Where is it? I got in for a sell. Hang on 1 minute. One. I got in for a sell on the third candle from 10 a.m. So it would have been 10:01, 10:02, 10:02.
10:02.
Yeah.
There. With a green stabilizer straight into a red stabilizer straight into a green.
it was red, but it turned green.
Yeah. Okay. Not been funny, but that was the low. It was, you could have waited for it break below there. Be honest. We're looking for a fair value gap as well. There was nothing, no fair value gap anywhere there. Not one. Anyway, so here we've got this here now on the 1 minute, and this is the 5 minute.
I won't be able to recover it today. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see what we're in. So today's all about, as we mentioned, 2 time frames. I'm showing it on my chart, 1 and 5 minute. If you don't have 2 charts, you can simply just pick one of these. We'll just choose this one, and you can flick between the 1 and the 5 minute by doing this. If you don't have 2 time frames up there, you can click here, just by drop down, and just make them a favorite. Just by, for example, that 5 minute will undo, and then I'll do it again. See up here, it comes up here. 5 minute disappears. I click that, and it comes. Okay. So you've only got one. If you've only got 1 chart. So based on that, I don't see any reason to enter that trade for a sell on the 5 minute. Let me check the 1 minute. That's it there. No reason to break into that there. Any questions so far, people?
No.
Nope. Okay, next thing. So that's understand the market changing direction. Okay. I said I use time and price, so between 10 and 11, I'm expecting to reach liquidity point. It's already smashed that, so it's already done. Because of this large move, I was expecting a nice turnaround. And some secret sauce would be. Some ever heard that phrase, secret sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really a great lover of that phrase. I'll use it myself sometimes, but yeah, that can't be. Okay, I'm going to remove that there. That's the 8:30 candle right there. Just mark that out. I'm going to go back. I'm now going to go to the midnight candle. If I can find it. You get an indicator that does all this for you, but round about there. That's good enough for me right there. Okay. What I like for it to, so I'm going to notice that's the midnight Eastern Standard Time candle. That's the 8:30 Eastern Standard Time candle. I'm on New York. So what I like to at this time is to move towards this here, and we just wait. And it's between this time zone. We're looking for liquidity. So it's a long way to go. It's a long way to go. If it doesn't work with this, the other pair, perfectly honest, I prefer it on is US 500, S&P 500, whatever you want to call it. It's a similar move. I'll just mark this up. This one looks like it's starting to turn around. So this is not about me saying, wow, it's hit off my green one, and where's the target? The green one's at least it's got to go to there if it's the green stabilizer. So this is in interactive times, and you've all got experience. Yeah, these have all got experience. So let me look at this. We've got a fair value gap in here. It's just, it could actually run all the way down if it doesn't. If we get another fair value gap, if it comes down and back up, and pulls back up to it and leaves this, it's going to be a runaway trade. It's going to be a runaway trade. And something you just let me put that on there. And this is the 1 minute, so I need to just change some. So that there, just check one little thing. This is 1 minute, I changed that to 5 minutes. and that does something else. Got that there's potential rejection off there, but let's see that. I'm now going to go back to AUD USD. Just showing you how I interact with the chart. So that one's behind the time. So next thing you could do is I could go to this button here. And then just check you all have on your screen a little plus or minus button there.
Yeah.
I hit that once. I'm going to put on something called the DXY, and I'm put on a new pane. Yeah. So this is like a mirror of this, because we're doing AUD, which is strong at the moment. The US dollar is weak. You see how that's plummeting. It's plummeting. So for this to come down, this has got to go up. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
And you can actually do this with multiple pairs. You can do this with multiple pairs, but let's stick with this one here. So I notice this here.
Just to say, mate, I've got 1% back anyway.
Well done. AUD USD?
I'm still a bit under, but I've got 1% back.
Yeah. Got that there. Let's do the same with US 500. Let me just check that, dude.
Oh, Jesus
Look at
Christ.
that. So it's kept the same. We're not ready for a turnaround yet. Got that there. It bounced off of there. So before we carry on, questions. What are you seeing that you like? What are you seeing that you don't like? What would your personal style be changed? What could you change? What would you add? What would you take away?
Well, with me, I know I've got to be a bit more patient now. I mean, but then sometimes you think, well, if you're too patient, you might miss that inevitable move just after the hour or time or whatever, you know. But
yeah,
you never know what it's going to do. So
yeah. Also, I'm not saying you use this, but also built into my 30-minute trader, and you did miss this one. It says buy at 10 a.m. and I went up above that there. There was also another indication here of something going above that line, this green triangle. You can set alerts on these. And as long as it stays above there, you can stay in the trade all day long. Yeah. So let's switch these off now. So what I've shown you there is more about a time and price move rather than the candles themselves. Yeah. But let's look at this here. Let's focus on the candles. It came down, and what's it going to do next? Nick's hoping, Nick, I imagine, got 1% coming. Is that correct, Nick? You got 1%?
Yeah, I've got 1% on it rising up. Where I bailed out, obviously, about 1.5% down. And then I entered into a buy trade and clawed back 1% from that before it turned around again. Took out like FVGs and liquidity or whatever, but yeah. I'd moved my stop loss up first to protect my account. Then I locked in 0.5%, and then I locked in the 1% at the earliest opportunity. But obviously, like I say, it quickly turned around and took us out on that, which obviously, you know, it's 1% back. So
yeah.
So now I'm waiting for a sell opportunity now.
Yeah. I marked out the low, this wick of this candle here. And Nick, what is in there? I've highlighted. Does anybody remember from the other day there? Steph, what's this here? If you remember.
Hidden FVG?
No.
Yeah, that's just a liquidity gap.
That's it, liquidity gap, liquidity void. Yeah, any of those will do. Yeah. Because there's a body, there's a wick, there's nothing, there's no overlap, and so it's like it's better to think of an FVG. So that's what it's staying right now. So I'm going to do something really quite sneaky. I'm going to drop down to a 15-second time frame. Just have a quick look. I know not all of these have that. Right now the price is up here. So we've got an FVG here on a 15-second. We've got an FVG. We've got all this area. See how this one overlapped there, Nick? Stefan? That was different. There was that was an overlap. So that's,
yeah.
although there was an FVG, there was definitely an overlap. Let me try even the 10-second for you. So now the 10-second looks quite good. Why? Look at this. Look at this huge gap here. Tapped into it. Bang. Not bam. Bang. Starts using a 10-second chart. Now, this cost a little bit of money for that, but if you didn't have that, I'm going to go down at least one to the 1 minute. So in the 1 minute, that gap's not there. Questions, observations, ideas. Uncertainties. So people typically look for things. So I just got a message. Somebody just got the 0.25% there in the mentoring group. So excellent. Lock that in, but it's still going up. So what could that go up to?
Oh yeah. I don't know. It should drop. It should drop. I mean, it's hit.
What this
like,
here?
you know, on the 4 hour, like, you know, it hit I'll get my words out in a minute. Sorry, mate. It hit a peak. It hit a resistance level on the 4 hour, and then dropping it down. There's just loads for it to recover below. So I can't understand why it's still pushing up.
Yeah. Well, this here, liquidity up of here. And you might say, well, it's going to reverse off that potentially, but it didn't. It stopped. Why? That's the question. Why? So let's look out why. There was. I'm not saying it was just because of this here, this little gap here. No idea why it pushed up. But you saw that there. Were you in that trade now for a sell?
No, I haven't. No, not since okay. I got my 1% back.
On
I'm
the
not in
1
nothing
minute, we have
a
red stabilizer. A red stabilizer. Make that there. I'm going to make that red.
Day lately.
I'm going to make that red. Patience. But we have a green one here. So if that is the case, I'll probably have to wait. It's all about patience. Patience. And that expression, you're paid to be patient. You're paid to be patient. But this huge gap here as well. So this time I'm going to stop sharing because I think it's important. I think it's important to ask you some questions. Jaden, Sutkaha, you're hearing from Nick. He's been honest enough to share his emotions with us and how he's doing.
Yeah.
Can you see how certain times of the day, unless you've got the patience, you really shouldn't trade?
Yeah.
I'm not being disrespectful to you, Nick. That's the one key thing I would suggest, and I mean that with kindness. That's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say to Nick, like, can he try a different time?
Well, with this, he could, but all he has to just look for an FVG. That's the secret.
Right.
That's the secret. Because he's got another half an hour, 25 minutes. Yeah. So what?
Well, I'm going to be patient now anyway, like, because I could hear the patience police coming for me, so I'm going to sit here and wait now. Like I said, I'm waiting for it to sell off. So.
Yeah. Paul, have you ever traded at this time of the day before?
Yeah, but
you've
got to wait. it's scary trading time. And I've fallen into the traps before and read what I wanted to read.
That's
really through anxiety and being impatient. And you know what happens then? You make a mistake and then you try and recover it immediately, and then that's a big problem.
Yeah, well, just so you know, it's just had a nice drop in that few minutes speaking. It's back to the entry where I placed earlier on. Just share that with you, and it's come back up. So let's see if we can find an FVG. Maybe it's just going to go up all day long. Like, maybe it's just going to go up all day long.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? It's
yeah. So that's 10 seconds. Bouncing off there. I'm going to go back to a minute. I'm going to remove this. I've got a red box, which is good. I was happy with that. We've got the red box. I'm going to remove that there. Alana, what are your thoughts, ideas, suggestions? We've got this here. It just had a little sneak, and it goes, "Hello, are you there?"
I think I might need a little more clarity on what you're looking at when you talk about. I wrote it down. Maybe like the liquidity gaps, like am I just looking for like wicks and then the candles to the right that don't cover the previous candle? Is that what it is?
Thank you very much. Here's a great candle. There's a wick there and there's a wick down. There's no overlay. There's no overlapping there. There is with this one here, but this is a little sneaky one. See how that's a little overlay? That one doesn't. That one doesn't. That one overlays. That one overlays. One, not really sure. Quite interesting. Normally they're not as fast as this. That's been a big push up. So that's what caught. If you look at these ones here, compare them to these ones here.
Jeff, what site do you use to check the news before we start trading?
If I use any.
Yeah, if you do, and if you do, what sites are they?
Oh, okay. I don't really, to be perfectly honest, but I normally get the people to check out I'm on with. But to be perfectly honest, you might not like the sound of that. I'm just being honest with you.
That's okay. I usually check the news, but
on what sites do you
I haven't been. You know, I'm just trying to be present with the learning and focusing on the studying, and obviously I have the charts pulled up at the same time, but I'm just looking to learn. I'm not looking to take any trades, but normally I would check the news first, or I used to, I guess.
This time of the day, there's typically quite a bit. So my FX book seems to be down at the moment. I don't know what's happening there.
Forex Factory or investing.com, mate.
Yeah, I could do. That's one of the ones I look at sometimes. Over here, we see it down here. Economic calendar, because it's usually the US 500. This is one of them. It's not one of the most known one, but investing.com or the one I showed that's actually down at the moment. And I'm looking for typically we call red folder news. The other ones are a lot, would say, are user friendly, because it actually shows. I actually mark it up only to show me red folder, but the site's down at the moment. See if we get it back up. Let me see if we go to here for a minute. Don't use that one. Don't use that one. Forex Factory is the other one. You ever use Forex Factory?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like literally the one I was trying to remember.
Yeah,
I know
this
there's
would be-
one, it's just color coded.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't seem to get on with these. Look at that, it's blocked it. Since I came to Indonesia, it doesn't seem to like these. Yeah. Oh, look at that one. Nick, look at that. So right now, it seems to be just going up and up and up and up and up. So if you were looking for Nick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. I'm here. I'm just trying to concentrate on my chart at the
Can I
moment.
ask you, can you put on that secret indicator I gave you the other day there? And how's that looking?
Yeah, hang on, I've got it.
It's basically it's a Bollinger Band with something called the matrix inside it. For those who have heard of the matrix before.
Yeah, that's all matching up.
For a buy, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, it's still buying off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me to
If,
get it run again.
Yeah, no,
I'm
okay,
looking at Forex Factory right now, and it's there's lots of red folders for USD. We're
Yeah.
trading against USD, right? So
yeah, that's right.
Australian
So
dollar.
also check out. So whether there's red folder news or not, people here are looking for insights. Yeah, so people are on here looking for information. So I could say, okay, red folder news that sees all tomorrow. But you're not here for that. You're looking for some information. So it did come down. Where did it stop? Give us a minute. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. Now I'm not feeling the love with this. Normally that'd be a bit easier.
It's not moving too good today.
Certainly isn't it? But look, it's just went above this high on again, but let's do that again. That I'm now going to change that again. What's it done with US 500? So it looks the way it's coming across. I would say it sounds like we're looking for tops and bottoms, but we're not actually. What we're looking for, yes, potentially. If you back test this time of day, you see certain moves that happen. And there's two reasons why I chose this time. One is a certain lady named Alana is in a different time zone, and 7 a.m. wouldn't fit for you. So, what time is it for you there, Alana?
Right now it's 7:45 a.m.
So that's early enough. It's way early. Yeah. Is there anyone here earlier than that? Let's check. No, there isn't. Stefan, what about you?
Yeah, it's just about 7 o'clock here, 7:45.
Yeah, we'll be so. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we're just waiting on this here to see if we can get it to come down. If it doesn't, well, it's going to be one of these days. So myself, I find that I can't teach and trade at the same time. I physically don't have that emotionally.
I think that's part of my problem as well, being on this group, trying to look at this and then like trying to concentrate on my trading as well. The two ain't mixing, I don't think.
That's fair enough. Thanks for your honesty there.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm just saying, you know.
No, I can share trades. I can see this, but for me, I prefer to keep it. This is normally my time with US 500. This is my time. I keep to myself. I opened this up for you, Helena, to be fairly honest. I wasn't going to go for 7 a.m. because the last one 2 weeks ago, it was 7 a.m. No, it was 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. So that would have been your 4:30, I think. Yes. So let's see. So put another high based off this wick. Thank you. You're very welcome. Let's see what we can do. We've still got a little bit of time to go. We've still got about 60 minutes. Let me see what you've got to do. So I talk about a U all the time. I was expecting that to come down, but there was no fair value gap on this time frame. There was on a 10-second. Can I have my phone, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I see there's a pop message here from Paul. Paul maybe had to go. Yeah, he had to. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So for me, so let's look at this. What I'm doing now, I'm going to remove this here. I'm just looking at this here. Let's look at a typical break of structure trade for a minute. On the 1 minute AUD USD, what would you consider a break of structure there if I'm using this? Would you go for this one, or perhaps the lower one?
On top of that one.
Say that again, please.
No, the previous one.
This which one, Sudhakar? This one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for answering. So just move that up. So we'll go with Sudhakar. So would you potentially use that as a safety mechanism for it to break through, do a little retest before dropping down, if that was your idea?
Yes, yeah. Candle must close below.
Yep.
Below that line.
Thank you very much. Straighten up a little bit there. That's based on the bodies and not the wicks, as you can see. So let's just see what we can do. I was speaking to the other group earlier on, and we spoke about the 1 minute time frame we used to think was very fast, and now it's like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Is anyone else experiencing that like this at the moment?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
And you're like,
market's like it at the moment.
I used to think it was super fast, and now it's like, come on, we do something. Just get to something what we can use. I never think, could you imagine going back to the hour time frame? Or previously I did the hour and the 4 hour. I was like, wow, don't believe I had the patience for that. But it's a different type of mindset.
It annoys you when you wait all day for it to just do this.
Yes. Or what you could have did, we just noticed the high, put on your 30-minute traded direction and just run with it. But that's okay after the fact that I agree with you, it's okay after the fact. Part of the reason this was for was to help with the guidance. And it's still saying you should not be in for a sell at the moment, but a sell. It's just still pushing up. That's gone. I'm going to move that there. That there, so for Alana again. So in there, I'll actually move that there for a minute. So there's a crossover with the wicks, and it just is this body. That's all I'm pointing out to. But when you start looking upon these, and then you say, why did that stop? Sometimes you look left, and it's like crazy how good they are. But we just need it. For that on this time frame, we do need a bit of movement, and then find out the reason why. So whether you call this support and resistance or whatever you want to call it, let me just take this here, and I go from there, goes through there, goes through there, and goes through there. Might see it's slightly higher, liquidity void, so it's there, that wick, that's just slightly lower. Your traditional support and resistance. Could be one of these no trade days. So Helena and
It's
Stephanie,
getting like that every day, mate.
well,
It has an habit of knocking you down, and then the minute you try and claw it back, the market won't move or it won't do nothing.
in the last week, Nick, I believe your account is up quite a bit.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
it is, but
Thank you very much. Just be honest. You're going to be honest both ways.
yeah,
You've done very well. Is it 4% you're up in the last few days?
something near enough, near enough.
So
That
let's not complain. Although you've had bad trades, you've got it back and you're still in profit. So well done, you.
yeah, I'm still in profit, but I'm still a bit under today still.
Yeah, we know. We understand. And with that patience, I'm sure you get it back. You've shown patience. The only thing you have to show patience is just let this do something, and don't jump in straight away.
No, yeah. I mean, you're saying let it do something. It's not doing nothing, is it? It's just, it's
Well,
like you said earlier. It's like watching paint dry now.
if you were in for a buy, you'd be feeling pretty good about yourself, wouldn't you?
Well, not right now. I wouldn't. Not if I'd only just got into one. No, but
No,
if I was in a buy earlier, obviously.
If you were, between 9:15, 10, it says something's going to happen, and it certainly happened. But anyway, it might just be one of these days where it's just a watch candles for a whole hour.
Yeah. Well, if I'd have got in for a buy from, say, just after 10 a.m. EST up until where it's peaked, I would have got about 4% had I chose the right way.
Yeah.
Sod's law.
So let me ask you a little question. Let's try the 5-minute time frame. So that might be better to add a little bit of, I'm not going to talk about it, patience again. Because it did pull back a little bit there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's just I'll do a 5-minute and I'll do a 1-minute market replay for you. And we're looking this here. Just going to do a market replay. So
I think what happened with 5-minute, it was still showing the correct direction going upwards, but on the 1 minute, it was like jumping the gun too early, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So you recognise and you jump on the gun too early, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm on the 1 minute, whereas if I was on the 5-minute, it would, it would have
do it
been a bit different, I think.
Do it suits you, Nick. So we've got that there. That's set up. If you just stick with that, if you prefer the 5-minute, it went great. Stick with it. Don't do what I say on the 5-minute or the 1 minute. Stick with your method. Trade like Nick. Don't trade like Jeff.
No. Well, I can try, can't I?
And even at that, you might have been happy to get exit. That might have been your exit there. You know, that's where we're at on the 5-minute. So don't beat yourself. You just got the wrong. You just got in a bit too early. That was it. Didn't let it do. That's all you did. You beat yourself up. That's all you're doing. Let's do this on the 1 minute. Do the exact same thing again. So we can all help. Let's see if we can help Nick. So if we were expecting this to sell, Nick.
Yeah.
ever expecting that to sell, we're expecting this to go up. Would that make sense? The DXY?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's look at both of them in comparison. Still going sideways, still going sideways. What this little red arrow temporarily there at 10:03, but still nothing to get excited about. I mean, another green arrow, 10:06, nothing to get excited about. But this red box, what I would say is a danger box if you're going for a buy. Again, I'm just being honest with you. Now turns green. Probably have to go above there. Just do another candle. Still nothing to get excited about either way. You've drawn out this the high. Now it breaks through, so therefore this starts coming down. Yep. And it just goes, this is coming down and this is going up. Other than that little red thing here, there was no indication of any sell at any time. And I'm on the 1 minute. Is there anything I missed or?
I've just flicked between 5 minute and 1 minute, and it's showing signs of coming down now. So, but we'll see.
Okay.
But I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Got that there. I'm just going to potentially close there by doing the 1 minute. I'm just looking at close now with this here. If you're using this, and then it starts showing that there. So Sudhakar said his break of structure would be here, I believe. Are you there, Sudhakar? Break of structures here. Let me remove all drawings for a minute. I believe he said it was there. Sudhakar, can you hear?
He's driving, mate, by the look on it.
Okay, it's okay, you're driving it, thanks. Yeah. It was
Yes,
there.
yes, yeah, I'm driving.
Yeah. So it's past, it's okay, sorry about that. It's past your break of structure. I'm just trying to, so that's that line there. We'll remove this, and I'm going to remove that, just so we can get a better look at the cabinet. So for me now, I would ideally be looking for some form of pullback into this fair value gap here, and then for it to drop. If that's the trade, if it's going to happen. So we've done that there. We've got a nice break of structure there. No, I initially said that one there. It's going to go with Sudhakar said. Now, while I'm waiting for this, just to let you know, the people here, I went out and bought me fish and chips. They're making me fish and chips tonight. To try and make me feel welcome.
Typical tourist goes all the way across the other side of the world and starts eating English food, man.
No, I've been eating.
Hey?
I've been eating Indonesian food since I've been here.
I know, mate. I'm only winding you up. only winding you up, mate.
It's okay. Thai food's a lot really spicy.
I had a mate that used to come to Thailand and see me, and he would just eat English breakfast.
This is the nice you that I love. Thank you very much. This is what my normal setup. That if it's going to reverse, it's got to watch the time now. So let's just get the GAN box. But this one here as well. But let's just do the first one. Just want to make this a bit bigger. Doesn't have to be 50%, but that's typically what I speak about all the time. So I've got that there now. So I'm going to draw that 50% out there. Now I can remove that can box. Let me see what's this here. What's this here? That's 11 o'clock time. So right on 11 o'clock, we'll remove that time there. Yeah. So might have just missed the 50%, but did come into the fair value gap. Let's just wait and see. Let's just watch this play out now. You can definitely see a fair value gap there. My one concern is this here. Change the color. Let's make it, I don't know, a yellow or something. Something called a balanced price range. So it's a fair value gap here as well. Typically when that happens, it can go straight through back up there, like that's been up there, straight back down. Has anybody here ever traded using something called a volume profile? Has anybody here traded called a volume profile?
I know what it is, but I've not used it.
And this we see called voids. So let me see if I can find one actually. I used to teach with that, and let me see. I don't know, let's do it from there to there, for example. It's not actually showing there, but this level in here, if it would be flat, that's down for me. So there is actually a lot of candles here. And what it's not showing you is it's a vacuum and it just drives straight through and drives straight through. And what we're looking for to do is create. What it's looking to do is create a balanced price range. Let me take this off for a minute. I'm not going to bring that on. So I want you to imagine, I mention this all the time. So Helena, who does the decorating in your house? You or someone else?
I live at my friend's house, but he's let me sort of decorate this room with my things.
So it's you. So do you do the painting or does no painting happen?
No painting has happened since I've lived here.
So it's Stefan, do you paint? The walls at all? No, yes. Does anybody here painting where they can roll up and down? Anyway, the metaphor is this.
Yeah.
I don't do much painting.
Say brush strokes.
Yeah, brush strokes. So let you say you brush, this was the brush coming up. And there's only buyers and there's no sellers. And then it comes down and it brushes down and there's only sellers and no buyers. So what we need to do is have and the worst part about it all is when someone says, I love the way you painted your walls and I love the way you painted your walls, but look, you've missed it a bit just there. And you're like, oh, I've just spent 2 hours doing that, and someone comes along and they say you've just missed a bit right there. And you feel a bit disappointed. So what you then have to do, you have to go back up, fill that a little bit in so you can actually go the way you wish to go. So that's my way of explaining the U with this here, or the 50%. It's at least you the 50% there. See, that's taken that out, but it's went straight through. So what does that mean to you? There's a danger of it coming straight back up because of this candle here.
That was an awesome metaphor. I've never heard it explained like that. And I was thinking, like, oh, you missed the spot. I'm like, oh, gotta go back and get the spot. Like,
you've got to go back and get it.
Oh,
that's what FVG
okay.
is. Oh my God, but the markets push it too fast.
Trading's like painting by numbers.
Yeah. I'm glad it worked for you. Yeah, it's just the simplicity of certain things. So we're just, ideally, I would like it to go up. You know, it just missed the 50% by, I don't know, a fraction. You could say it missed by broker spread. Look at that there, 0.3. From that to there, it's probably about 0.3 pips. Not even that, 0.2. Yeah, to what I pointed. But it depends what the broker spread. So sometimes if you see it was just a bit short, but ask yourself why. This little bit broke a spread up here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try my hardest. Give us a minute.
Can't mute yourself, mate.
Right, I've muted all. If you want to speak, please speak. Thanks, Demo, for saying that. Please speak. I just did that, so yeah, he's got his family. So it looks like it's doing its thing. Just missed by, say that again, 0.2 of a pip. And you think of the broker spread as 0.2, 0.3, 0.1. That's what we're talking about there. Ideally, I would have liked it to go up a little bit higher. Actually, hit it. I would have liked. So if you entered that trade in the example and you saw that there, your next target would be this here. You've also got a fair value gap here, sitting. I'll make that green. So all I'm really saying is, when I see that, there's a danger it could jump back up. We have one candle, only one candle, of going the other way. That one right there. Apart from that, we're all buys. Okay. If we're looking at this here, this is coming in, this is supporting the trade for a sell. Same way it was supported going up here. So is Nick there? Yes, Nick's there. So Nick, can you help me out for a minute?
Yeah, go on.
If we place the trade based on what Sudgahar said is the break of structure was here, this line here, just so you know. And then it came back up with an FVG, just a little bit short. Would you feel confident enough to get in the trade there? Maybe put on like a 0.2%, what I call a little soldier, 0.1%, a 0.25%, or not?
Because if it,
the fact that you're so that is a break of. So I'll remove these candles for a minute. I'll remove the candles. That was the line we drew. Sudgahar at the break of structure he chose. We could choose one slightly lower down.
Yeah. Well, that one where it was, I mean, you know, across there.
Came down, went back to just 0.2.
Yeah. I was going to say I would have put my stop loss a little bit past 50% of that candle.
Where would your potential get in? That's one of my things I want you to develop. I want you to develop of putting a fraction of a percent in just to gain the confidence, like 0.1%, 0.2%, a 0.25%. So if you do that, you see that when up there or there, or even there, and something, just try entering the trade with a small percent, or put it on paper account or a demo account, and just practice. So the stop loss would have had to go the other side of that 50% for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Or even up there, above there. Again, I'm being honest with you, because it could have potentially come back to there. So I want to just put it to the other side of that there. But you see, we went for the 50%. We don't like stop losses. Don't like them getting hit, but they're there for a reason, to protect your account. And so you don't lose to who doesn't come against you. So pull that there. And if we're looking left, where's the first green stabilizer? There. And that's a target. So let's say you put in 0.2, which is a fifth. You made a profit. You don't want to make much, but guess what? You've practiced, it's worked. And it doesn't matter if it's Nick or it's anybody else, when you see things like this, try very small lot sizes or risk, so to remove the fear, and it helps build the confidence. But I think I'm actually going to put it into another group. We actually all do 2/5. And for yourself, do 2/5 with things like this, Nick. Rather than putting, like with this here, rather than putting a full percent on, put a smaller amount until you find the correct entry, because you're just getting in too early. So if you'd waited, you would have noticed. In fact, you know, even if you just waited 1 minute, because there was only one down candle. Only one. That one there. There was nothing until there. But you see, that was the only one after 10 a.m. That was 10 a.m. there, actually. Only one. You just waited 1 minute, you probably wouldn't have been in that trade. And you would have probably got that. Yeah. So that's really all I have for you today. Sorry it's not been an eventful day of, wow, look at that slam dunk. If we did before, we could have potentially got it up. So let me just summarize. Based on that one candle, Nick got into that trade. You might think I'm pick on you, Nick. I'm not. I'm just trying to highlight the one candle that was down. But a couple candles later, it turned green. I mean, it was a green stabilizer. That's all I was saying. And then from there on in, if you were looking, it was a buy. It's gonna buy all day, as you can see. Staying in the trade. And whether you use my 30-minute trader or you've got your own resources, it's how powerful that is. Just to helping you. And then moving that off, when I'm actually entering a trade, I would switch that on and off, just quickly on and off. This came from a red box, but you're not entering until a break of structure, it breaks through it, goes back up, just short, a fraction short of the 50%. Once you place the trade, or you've done for it, you're always looking for targets. This is the first target, achieved it, it went back up to where did it, back up. So let me get the GAN box on the stabilizer, and I draw 50%. It hit the 50%, and then dropped again, and hit, and hit the target again. So I'm going to shut up. Questions, learnings, or discoveries? What's been useful? What bits have not been useful? And it's open to anybody. And you can please unmute if you wish to speak. And if you don't, that's okay as well. So I'll go from the bottom, actually. But I think Helana's just opened up her unmute. You have a beautiful smile, just so you know.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I'm loving this as a refresher for sure. And I'm really glad that I'm noticing new things on the chart. My history and my emotional trading does say that personal development and psychology comes first, but I think that's why I use the news. Like I check the news, just if it's a red folder, like it almost like I've trained my brain to, it might push in the opposite direction for a while, or I just don't trade it because it's not worth like the emotional turmoil. And going back to the chart that you have up, Jeff, like at the top of the hour, I mean, I'm not trading with your indicators, but just by looking on the 1 minute chart, like I never trade when it's in consolidation. Like it has to be in a clear trend, and for those 10-15 minutes there, it's just not really doing anything dramatic. It's just running side to side. Now when you put your indicators on, or your chart, if you could, that would be great. My next, if I've made it to that step, if there's a red news folder and I decide to trade it, okay, that's step one. And then step two is identifying the trend. There wasn't really a clear trend for that point of time. So yeah, probably a few more minutes would have just made all of the difference. And then using your indicators, I would go for a minimum of a 3-point, look for 3 points is like the bare minimum of what I would take if I was using indicators. 4 points, obviously going to be a better setup. 5 points would be the best setup. So looking for the stabilizer, the up arrow, and the green buy trend line, I would be super confident in taking that trade at that, after seeing that third point. So green box, green stabilizer, green up arrow, amazing. Wait till it sort of broke out of that previous resistance and then gotten in, looks like to be about 11 minutes or 12 minutes after, and then rode it for the next 45 minutes. That would have looked really, really nice.
I would have. Yeah. Thank you for your feedback. Whether it was news or there wasn't news, you would have still expected to see something. And so I just wanted to see. So, Sudhkar, questions, learnings, or discoveries? Okay, he's busy. Jaden, questions, learnings, or discoveries?
Well, I'm learning quite a bit. No, there's still some bits that I don't quite get, but it's not going to take me long with a bit of mentoring or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like all your indicators and that. I'll be happy to use them. And I think you're a good teacher, so I'll probably be coming along with you.
Thank you. Yeah. And do you have any questions specifically about what was happening today? Just one of these days, I will send message. Thank you, Sudhkar. Yeah. Okay, Stefan. Thanks for your questions, learnings, discoveries.
Yeah, not really that many questions. But yeah, it's just a good a good reinforcement of all the different things that I've talked about and learned. And then on top of that, I see how everybody else is still, also struggling with the psychology of it, which is, in my eyes, is like the biggest thing that I'm struggling with is being patient, waiting for the right entry. And so one thing that I noticed, I think Nick, you were talking about it, is instead of trying to chase the trades, it's really important to be able to let it go. Even if you do see the big drop and you miss your entry, it's okay. You'll get it next time. So that's something that I'm still actively trying to work on, is to not chase trades. So it's been, a good lesson today to see that, it's not just me that struggles with this, but everybody else seems to run into the same issue. So yeah, great lesson again.
Yep. Thank you. And Nick, don't be disheartened. You were just one candle out. Because of that one candle there, at 10:02, 10:03, whatever it was, that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, I got in for another sell trade, and I'm only a tiny little bit in profit, and I'm on a 5-minute candle now, and it's virtually dead. It's a joke, mate. It's like I say, the minute you try and get it back, it just don't move, or nothing happens. So it's just really crap today.
Yeah. So let's try change the way you said that. Because the truth is, if you waited 1 minute, it would have been really good.
Yeah, if I'd have waited 1 minute, it would have been a good trade. And like I say, if I was on the 5 minutes, then I might not have made the same mistake, because I wouldn't have been too, to get into quick. So
yeah.
tomorrow. I'll try from the 5 minute, because like say 1 minute I think's jumping the gun a bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, do that.
Things
then.
can change too quick in 1 minute.
Or
like.
use two screens. Now, I find that when you're again teaching, you could use two, but I think you would need to focus on one. Want to be honest with you.
I bet might as well just give up with it today.
Yeah. Well, if that's what you're feeling, I would probably suggest that. Yeah. So let me just check. Damon, do you have anything to add at all?
I mean, all good, mate. So I've just learned over the last couple of weeks, say, with just patience. Been looking at the 5 minute myself. As I say, I find the psychological side, over the last 6 months, I've done really well, but I've been jumping, getting up 30 minutes before as I get up, and then I'm on the charts within 30 minutes, and I find that's no good. So I've started now going to the gym again, and I find that's really helping. I mean, like I said to you earlier on, I took 7% off indices this morning.
Oh, well done.
And I'm finding staying away from currencies helping me personally.
Yeah.
So, and I just finding that 7 till 8 in the morning, my time, UK, I was finding that was catching me out. So it's like, say, up the gym now for 6 till about 7:45, and then come back, and then I feel like I've organised myself and got the positive juices flowing, shall we say, ready to get on the chart with the right mindset. And wake up in a bad mood, I take it out on the gym before I get on the charts. You know what I mean? So
I like the sound of that.
Wake up, take it out on a fair few kilo of weights, and then I'm in the right frame of mind for trading. Then, instead of just rolling out of bed, jumping on the charts, and if you wake up not in a bad mood, but if you wake up not quite right, you're all over the place. So I'm finding now. I found before that I used to trade better once I've been in the gym. And I've stopped going to the gym for 6 months, and now I'm starting back in the gym. I'm finding it much, much, much better psychologically, much better.
Yeah. Excellent.
So, but anyway, good day today, mate. Good session today. Yeah. All good.
Well, thank you for everyone being here, and let's go back to education tomorrow. And Nick, if tomorrow, just have a little bit more patience. Just have a little bit more patience. We're all rooting for you.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit more patience. Yeah. And see you all same time tomorrow. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.
Nice one. See ya.
Take care. Bye.